Hello and welcome to Current Issues with me, Tarun. Should agricultural income be taxed? That's the question that we are asking today, and joining us for the debate today are Sompal Shastri, former Minister of State for Agriculture, Muhammad Khani, spokesperson of the Congress Party, and Gopal Krishna Agarwal, spokesperson and economic cell head of the Bharatiya Janata Party. But let me first lay a premise for this whole discussion today. Members of the CBDT, the Central Board of Direct Taxes, and the Income Tax Department in totality has also given a recommendation to Prime Minister Modi that it's high time that India begins taxing agricultural income. And this is not now. Income Tax Department has got evidence that there are so many and scores of people who are using this route to turn black money into white by declaring agricultural income in crores. On the other side, there is an instance of rich farmers who make 1 crore and above. So how this issue should be tackled is a big question. I am going across to Gopal Krishna Agarwal first. Gopal, if you could first give your opening comments on this whole proposal and the rationale of the party to go ahead with such a decision.
There are two issues to the whole discussion. One thing is that if there is an element of corruption in the system where other incomes are rooted in the form of agriculture income and tax is evaded, that is one important aspect which has to be checked in a income tax department and legal manner. And the other aspect is that where there is a genuine agriculture income, should it be taxed or not? These are the two issues. These are the two issues we have to discuss. The first issue is very clear. Government and the party has a very clear view on that any element of round tripping or illegal method of circumstanting the law and putting it black money into this route and camouflaging the taxation has to be very strongly dealt, and this will be dealt. It will be investigated, penal action will be taken to those, and the culprits will be penalized at every level, and this will not be allowed by the government at any cost. The second aspect of the issue is, should agriculture income be taxed, genuine agriculture income? I think that issue is also very clear that it is a constitutional amendment which alone can do this. Our constitution has given an exemption to agricultural farmers that agriculture income cannot be taxed by the government. So the government cannot take a unilateral decision on it. It has to move through a constitutional amendment, and as such there is no such move at present from the government side or any demand from the party side that agriculture income should be taxed. So both aspects are to be dealt separately, and we have a very clear opinion on both the things. As regard
law, Gopal, I'll come to you again, but I move on to Sompal Shastri for his opening comments. Gopal, I'm coming back to you again. Sompal Shastri, what would be your opening comment on both issues? First, about people using this tax route to turn black money into white.
Yes, I've understood. I don't think you need repeat.
Yes.
Okay. You see, the first issue which Mr. Gopal Krishna said, I totally agree with him. This concerns the efficiency / corruption of the department, which has to be tackled by streamlining the functioning and making it transparent and broad-based so that the corruption goes out. The second issue is that if we have a look at the agricultural incomes and the scenario, everybody knows that 83% of India's holdings are below medium large level, which are not economically viable, so they don't have any income to offer any tax. Out of the remaining ones, only 1.3 or 1.4% farmers in India are such which have 10 acres, 10 hectares and above, and where also the incomes are not enough to be taxed. The third dimension, which is not captured by any economist in India, unfortunately, or in any analysis by the press and the commentators also, that the terms of trade for agriculture historically have always been lagging behind, and therefore there is a covert hidden taxation on agricultural incomes to the tune of 12 to 15% always, and therefore there is no case for taxation. The fourth dimension is that the rural savings, if you have a look at the total deposits of the rural branches of all the banks taken together, particularly the nationalized banks, because the private banks are not very keen to open their branches in rural areas, CD ratio, that is credit deposit ratio, is 30-70, which means that out of the savings put by the rural people in the banks, only 30% is lent back in the rural areas, 70% is being siphoned off at a very nominal rate of interest. So there is hardly any case for levying the tax, and it will be so unpopular that if the any ruling party which has to commit suicide can venture into taxing rural incomes.
Very politically and otherwise
route.
also
But so
prudent points made by Sompal Shastri. I'll move across to Mohammad Khan for his opening comment. Mohammad, what would be your opening comment?
ये कट गया उसमें आवाज नहीं आ रही.
Mohammad, can you hear me? I think Mohammad, we've lost the line. I'll go across to Gopal Krishna Agarwal. Gopal, if I may read out a figure to you. In the 9-year period from financial year 2006-7 to 2014-15, the number of cases with 1 crore plus agricultural income was 2,746 people. And also in an internal letter of dated March 10 this year, the Central Board of Direct Taxes has asked its officials to verify the genuineness of agricultural income exceeding 1 crore. So this is one serious issue clearly that the income tax department is looking at, but there are some cause of concern that is raised by Sompal Shastri. I think you tackle both two and give me answers on both of these issues.
Yeah, first thing is that very clear it falls under the first category that I have said, that if there is any manipulation of the income and camouflaging of the income by any individual or any group of individuals, then it has to be tackled in a legal matter and it will be very strongly dealt with. And income tax department at present is well empowered to tackle it if it should take it into account, and it is investigating. CBDT has some time back also come out with a circular to it has sent to all the regional heads that they should investigate those people who are having more than 1 crore agriculture income and analyze their returns and then find out if there is any manipulation. Harsher action or penalty or whatever legal action has to be taken should be taken. So that is very clear. Government is investigating. Some other very important issues have been raised by Mr. Sompal Shastri ji.
Yes.
We agree that there is a deficit into credit offtake and deposit ratio in the rural economy, and that is the reason therefore the government is tackling with regard to subsidy in the interest provision to the rural sector, and the credit requirement through Kisan credit card or provision of credit for their various schemes. Even if you see, there are reforms which our government is taking into forward, is providing them this warehousing facility through which they can put their products and get a receipt out of that, where it can take loans from the banks. And even rural areas or agriculture sector has been defined as a priority sector, must lending for banks to promote them, and they have been given target.
Gopal, I take your point. I'll move across to Mohammad Khan at this moment.
Yeah, and
I'll come across. I'll come back to you, Gopal. Mohammad, what would be your opening comment? On the one side, there are tax evaders. On the one side, there are also companies. I'll give you data. There are companies like Kaveri Seeds, which has claimed 186 crore tax exemption on agricultural income. Also, Monsanto, a multinational company, which claims a exemption of 94 crores. So there are people who are bypassing the law, generating black income, but turning into white by showing it as agricultural income. On the other side are genuine farmers. So how do you look at this whole issue?
Tarun, first of all, Tarun, you will agree that the percentage of genuine farmers far exceeds those of people trying to manipulate the system. Second of all, I would like to point out that in data that has recently been published 2 days ago, the percentage of people relying on the agricultural sector for their income has fallen from 29% in 1991 to less than 17% today.
Yes.
What does this tell you? This tells you that agriculture itself is not a very viable sector. Shastri Saab explained it best when he said that there are inherent inbuilt taxes when you are when you are engaging in agriculture as an economic activity. It is not very lucrative. There are too many hidden costs involved. Then there is the problem which Shastri Saab said of financial inclusion, which is what we tried to fix when we were in power through the use of Aadhaar. Banks don't want to open branches in rural areas. Banks don't want to set up shop in these areas, and therefore it is very difficult to bring these people into the mainstream of our economy. Right? The current BJP government has taken the ball and run with it when it comes to Aadhaar, and they are trying to build on the work done by the UPA 2 government. But here I must make a political point. The fact that they're even considering bringing in a tax on agricultural income, and the fact that we're even debating it today, shows you a very bankrupt government, a government that is so bereft of ideas, a government that is struggling to create jobs in this economy. You know that 1 million young people turn 18 every month, and that means 1 million people every month are coming into the job stream.
Okay.
But Tarun, this government has completely failed them.
Okay, I'll allow
the Indian National Congress has also published data to show.
Okay.
Yeah,
Point
if I
taken.
may
Point
just
taken.
conclude,
I've got a
2
statement
crore
from an
jobs
economist,
have been
Mohammed.
lost
Just a
over there.
minute. I'll come back to you again. SS Sangwan, News World India's correspondent, spoke to SS Sangwan. He had something to say on this issue. My team will just play his statement for you.
I think income tax department already seeing figures from the returns of people, where many people they are showing income from agriculture in crores. There are many cases they have brought out, around 2,300 cases, where income from agriculture is shown in crores. But because there is a general exemption from income tax, and that is deducted except that is counted for determining the limit for income tax. So therefore, on that basis, agriculture income tax department may have suggested that income tax must be brought under agriculture income should also be brought under income tax.
Okay, we heard what SS Sangwan had to say. I'll go across to Sompal Shastri. Sompal Shastri, if you could tell me, is there a case for at least taxing the rich farmers who make more than 50 lakhs or 1 crore an annum, and they are declaring that they're actually making that much of money? At least that should be done, isn't it?
I don't think, since there is no tax on the agriculture income, so this statement also is wholly incorrect that farmers are declaring 1 crore plus incomes. Only those people who are not farmers, like the seed companies which we have named, including Monsanto,
yes,
they are having the seed grown at the farmer's field and are paying them very low rates, only peanuts as compared to what they charge from the farmers when we sell the seed. Therefore, their activity should not be deemed to be agriculture at all. This is nothing but sheer trading, and therefore it should be deemed as trading, as commerce, and therefore they should be taxed. They should not be allowed to declare such incomes. But I don't know any farmer who is declaring 1 crore income. And why should he declare? Because he is not at all required by law to declare income, because there is no taxation. I don't think this is a correct statement.
Okay, the data that we have is about 2,746 cases all over India. This is between 2006 to 2015. The amount involved is 9,338 crores. This is the agriculture income declared by people who make 1 crore plus every year from agriculture. The income tax department is already investigating into the matter, which it sees as a cause of concern, because agriculture is being used not only to turn black money to white, but also to evade taxes. So I'll go across to Gopal Krishna. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, if you could tell me, is there a case for at least taxing people who make 1 crore plus or 50 lakhs plus from agriculture? And this is not the BJP. We had people from the CPIM and other parties also demanding the same last year.
No, one thing I want to clarify here is there is no move from our government or from the party that agriculture income should be taxed.
Yes.
This what you are talking or debate is taking place. This was a suggestion in the tax Gyan Sangam
Yes.
by the some of the people on an individual basis who were there present there, and
Yes.
it is a media report.
Yes.
But from our government there is no move to tax agriculture income, and we cannot do unilaterally. It has to be constitutional amendment. So I would like to correct Mr. Khan, Mohammad Khan, is that we are not going to tax any agriculture income at present. There is no move in the government.
you made it clear that it's just a demand from the income
Mr.
tax.
Sompal Shastri has said. One thing more, one important thing is that 1 crore income or more is being declared by those persons who have other income also, and as the tax law require that the rate of tax applicable on individual has to be decided on the gross income, including his agriculture income, and then he that rate is decided on that gross income, and then he gets exemption for the agriculture income. Therefore, they are declaring. So they are people who are having other income also in their returns. So that is only one segment, and they, as far as farmers are required or agriculturists who have only agriculture income, they don't need
Gopal
to
Krishna Agarwal, one small
declare any
point.
agriculture income.
Gopal
So
Krishna
therefore,
Agarwal, one
Mr.
small
Shastri
point.
ji
Let
is
me
right
come in.
that
Gopal, one small point. The Parthasarthi Shome report of November 2014 clearly states that agricultural income of non-agriculturists is being increasingly used as a conduit to avoid tax and for laundering funds, resulting in leakage to the tune of crores in revenues annually. And we can see taxpayers in different countries as a percent of population. India is just 3.3%, 8% is China, 39% is Singapore, 46% is USA, and 75% New Zealand.
So this is not the case where it tells that you should tax agriculture income. It is the case which clearly forms that the government should catch the culprits who are evading tax and converting their other incomes into agriculture income illegally and evading tax. It's a tax evasion case,
point taken.
which is at present
Okay,
very,
point
very
taken,
taxable.
Gopal. I'll
And
go across
those
to
people who
Mohammed.
are camouflaging
Mohammed, I have a
their
question to
other
ask of
income,
you. Mohammed.
that is already very well taxable.
Okay, point taken, Gopal. Mohammed, two members of parliament, Bhartahari Mahtab of Biju Janata Dal and Saugat Roy of All India Trinamool Congress, they made a point that at least companies which claim exemption on agricultural income, there are many multinational and Indian companies who get exemption of hundreds of crores each, that they should be taxed. But they also demanded, Mehtab also demanded, that rich farmers who own more than 50 acres of land and whose agricultural income exceeds 1 crore should be taxed. So would you also not agree that rich farmers who have 50 acres and 1 crore income shouldn't be taxed? I mean, at least that is something that can be done, isn't it?
Tarun, on this our position is unequivocally clear. The Congress party has always believed that agricultural income should not be taxed. We are very mindful of the challenges that a farmer has to face, and the last thing our government, when we were in power, would have done is levy such taxes. Of course, there are people who misuse the system and there are ways to go after them, but this is not the correct way. Number two, the reason why so many people are reporting such high gains of multiple crores is often because there's a distortion in the market by the sale of land. Many farmers want to get out of farming. We met with a delegation of farmers, उन्होंने हमें बताया कि यार कभी कोई किसान अपने बच्चे को किसान नहीं बनाना चाहता. So they want to get out of the sector, they sell their land. This is a one-time game which is being used to distort कि अरे इतनी ज़मीन बिक रही है, इतना सारा पैसा आ रहा है, इस पे income tax लागू कीजिए. Thirdly, now you remember we passed a land acquisition bill.
Yes.
We were so concerned that when a farmer's land is taken away, that and when he's being given compensation for that, that compensation should also not be taxed.
Okay.
We went one
Mohammed,
step
point
further.
taken, but we are
These
digressing.
people criticized us
Okay.
for
Point
the amount
taken,
we
but
pay
we are
as MSP.
digressing. I have got one more comment from SS Sangwan. We'll hear him say, and then I come back to Sompal Shastri for his opinion.
95% से ज़्यादा किसान एग्रीकल्चर इनकम टैक्स की लिमिट के दायरे में आएंगे ही नहीं. अगर उनकी लागत को निकाल करके नेट इनकम देखी जाएगी तो एग्रीकल्चर इनकम टैक्स के दायरे में नहीं आएंगे. और दूसरी बात ये होगी कि अगर एग्रीकल्चर पर इनकम टैक्स लगता है तो जो ज़मीन खास करके पिछले 3 दशक से कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स के द्वारा, डॉक्टर्स के द्वारा या दूसरे चार्टर्ड अकाउंट्स के द्वारा जो नॉन एग्रीकल्चरिस्ट के द्वारा खरीदी जा रही है उस पर भी एक रोक लगेगा, क्योंकि इस तरह के लोग एग्रीकल्चर की ज़मीन खरीद करके उस पर पैदा तो कम करते हैं लेकिन इनकम ज़्यादा दिखा देते हैं ताकि वो अपनी ब्लैक इनकम को वाइट में शो कर सके।
So SS Sangwan, make it clear how land is bought, people turn into agriculturists and solely use it for the purpose of evading taxes and turning black money to white. But I have Sompal Shastri come in. Yes, Sompal Shastri.
You see, Vineet ji, you have given us two very concrete figures. The number of people declaring agriculture income 1 crore and above is merely 2,746, if I correctly remember it.
Yes.
Which is not a huge number to be scrutinized closely by the income tax department, and then going to say or propose that the whole agriculture sector needs to be taxed is nothing but their own admission, their own confession to their inefficiency and lack of diligence. So 2,700 and odd cases is not difficult, and they can find out whether it is genuine or not. The second issue is, I would like to correct Mr. Sangwan. It is 98.7% farmers who are below viable levels and they don't have enough incomes to support themselves. It's only 1.3 or 1.4% who are large farmers, that is 10 hectares and above.
Yes.
And when you say 50 acres and above or 50 hectares and above, the ceiling laws prohibit anybody in India to possess such kind of land, and there are no incomes. So
Yes.
there is hardly any case. The only issue which should be concluded by saying that the people who are masquerading as farmers, they should be closely scrutinized, particularly the seed companies and others who are having the seed grown at farmers level and don't pay them adequately and sell the seed at several times, rather several 100% above the price that they have paid to the farmers. So there is hardly any case for taxing agriculture. It is a case for scrutinizing those farmers' farm incomes which are masquerading as agricultural income and which it is not. It is trading and commerce, sheer trading and commerce,
Okay.
and income tax department should investigate them very closely.
Tarun,
It's not difficult. I
Okay,
repeat.
Gopal Krishna Agarwal can come in. Yes, Gopal.
What I want to say is that there is, I agree with Mr. Sompal Shastri that there is no case for taxing agriculture income. Second important, the government is not going to tax any agriculture income. That very well point taken is that those limited people who are evading tax in the camouflage way, the government is going after them to investigate and pick up the black sheep. The other important point here is that there is a confusion that it is the agriculture income which is exempt. It is not the agriculturist income which is exempt. So this confusion also should go away, because if an agriculturist has other income from rent and other things, that is taxable, that is not exempt. So they ultimately, if you see, and even the rate is for calculating rate of tax also, agriculture income is taken into consideration. Therefore, at present I don't find any issue which can case for taxing agriculture income. They need hand holding, they need more support, they are in a bad shape. The government is focusing on the improvement of income of the
So basically what you
agriculturist
say is the
and rural
demand of the
area.
income tax
Therefore,
department
at
will be
present
roundly
there is no
rejected.
move.
Gopal, what you are saying is the demand made by the income tax
It is
department.
just an opinion. It is not.
Okay, the opinion.
No,
They
it
say
was
it will
not a
not be
demand. It
considered.
was a suggestion by some people.
Okay. Okay, point taken. Now we move
It
to
is just a suggestion by some quarter
okay.
from the
okay,
department.
There is
It is
also
not
a
a
PIL.
department's
There is also a
demand.
PIL in this regard about people evading taxes, which is pending currently and under litigation in the Patna High Court. But we move to closing comments now. We're almost running out of time. I'll go to Mohammed, then Sompal Shastri, and then Gopal Krishna can close. Yes, Mohammed, what would be your closing comment?
See, it would be fatal for this government. This government is already in deep trouble, as we are seeing. It would be fatal for them if they now started toying with the idea of imposing a tax on agricultural income, as Gopalji very quickly rushed to point out that there is no such move. But this debate is important because it has drawn attention to how little this government has actually done for farmers and how little they've applied their mind to the plight of farmers over the last couple of years. Tarun, you only witnessed what happened in Latur and in other drought-hit regions of Maharashtra. This government is not a friend to the farmer, and it really needs to start improving its image to try and dispel this notion.
Okay, thank you. Sompal Shastri, what would be your opinion? Your closing comment.
You see, I am clear cut that there is no case for taxing agriculture incomes. It's only those people who are masquerading as agriculturists and concealing the income or declaring the income wrongly, they should be tackled. And I would like to comment on Mr. Mohammad's comment that the government is in trouble. Government is not in trouble. It is the farmers who are in trouble, and because of the governmental policies, not the government. Government is sailing very well.
Okay.
I beg to differ with him.
Okay. Okay.
It's the
Point
farming
taken.
community who are in
Okay,
trouble.
Gopal Krishna, what would be your closing comment for this debate?
There is no case for agriculture income to be taxed, and the government is not moving towards this idea of taxing agriculture income. Those who are evading tax in the camouflage way, they will be strongly dealt with, and government will take strong action. As far as farmers are concerned, we are very much concerned about their plight, and we are taking steps. Budget has given so many new initiatives, and even we have said that PM has committed that by 2022 the farmers income will be double through so many of reforms, either through direct benefit transfer, subsidies transfer, and even e-market. There are so many initiatives, rural infrastructure, creating irrigation facility to the rural area. So I think we are very focused that a plight of agriculture or rural economy should move. We will give them alternative employment also. We will do whatever can be done, and their plight will be taken care of, and definitely as committed by the PM that their income will be doubled, either through reduction in input cost or through MSP or various reforms in the subsidy transfers or alternative employment. So I am very confident that the farmers of this country are in safe hands, and we are caring for them.
Point taken. Thank you. Thank you, Gopal Agarwal. Thank you, Sompal Shastri and Mohammad Khan, for joining us on the debate. So, the whole political class has made it roundly clear that they don't prefer taxing farmers. Farmers shouldn't be taxed, but people who evade taxes using farming or masquerading as farmers, they should be taxed. Let us see what policies the government works out for the sector in the coming days, and what decision is taken on the tax evaders who evaded 10,000 crores in the past 10 years or even more. Thank you so much for joining us on the debate today. Thank you.